All right, here we go. It's time to get into some more custom matches. 2 games so far, 1-1 apiece between Szalami and Grubby and Crackedy and Mugul. Let's see who's going to take the lead as we take to 4 Lakes. Seems appropriate that we've got 4 players for this map. And look at this. Not used to seeing 4 Lakes like this. In fact, I think this is the first time I've seen a team game of 4 Lakes. Let's see how this one plays out, because Szalami and Grubby did actually go for the 2 strongest civs on 4 Lakes. Well, okay, no, not the 2 strongest civs. 2 of the strongest civs, though, I'd say. The Roost, definitely number 1, the strongest civ. The Chinese, a surprisingly powerful civ, at least on one-on-ones, because of your ability to just kind of rush your opponent down with static defenses. Let's see how they fare in a 2-on-2. A 2-on-2 where one of the other most powerful civs this map has been picked. Grand Mugul will be playing as the HRE. Meanwhile, Crackedy went for a very different choice here, the English. I think this is actually the first time I've seen the English picked, even in scrims on 4 Lakes. I can't think of one time I've actually seen it otherwise, so quite interested to see what he has in mind here. Opening-wise, we are going to see him just sniping down the deer. We'll speed this up a little bit because we are a minute behind. We aren't going to miss too much here. Szalami is going to be able to crack past that 250 bounty mark, as should be expected in a 2-on-2. And dock play is going to begin. Looks like they're going to share the same lake, though, on both sides. So, interesting choice here, not choosing one each. Instead, they see the logic here being, okay, we can easily defend these corner ones. It makes sense when you think about it, just for a second. Right, if you go for your own independent corners, like these are actually neutral ones, so you don't have a natural layering of defenses. But because you are covering the corner, notice that you're able to easily block off any approach. Like, you should be able to see your opponent weaving in. This is the safe option. It's going to get interesting when we move to the neutral lakes, though. So, opening up Grubby as the Chinese. He was asking about the Imperial official builds, when he should build new ones, so kind of intrigued to see how well he does with this specific civ, because it felt like he was looking for advice from Szalami on the most recent builds. We have to give some credit to the fact, you know, Grubby hasn't been as hot on the Age of Empires grind as, say, the other 3 in this game. He has other communities that love him. We're just stuck holding each other, Pepe hands. Anyway, but Szalami definitely going to look to be kind of the captain here, I'd say. I think that's the thing that Grubby's probably willing to accept, is like Grubby, you know, he understands that Szalami's playing a lot more the game right now. He already proved himself in game 1. It makes sense that they should be going by whatever strategy Szalami selects. On the other side, I imagine it's a bit more balanced, but I would expect Crackedy to be a bit of the leader here between him and Mugul. I think you do have to have someone as a clear leader. You can discuss it as a team, but realistically, there are going to be things you disagree on. So at the end of the day, I think it's very important to just, at the beginning of a series, agree on who a captain is and allow them to take pace. Between games, you can discuss things that you think were done wrong or should have been adjusted, and that's fine. But in the game moments, you just need someone that makes the calls, because you can't waste a minute or 2 just arguing over it. In some degrees, like, you can spend a little bit of time depending on what it is, but if you're in the middle of a battle, it's like, we should go left, we should wrap around onto the, like, the eco lines. The other person's like, no, we shouldn't. Whoever's the shot caller needs to just instantly call it, because otherwise you're going to lose the game. Where you can at least be a little bit more flexible at the talk is this point in the game. When not too much is going on, you're not under pressure, the game doesn't feel like it can end in the next 2 minutes, you can start to formulate a strategy. I'd love to know what the strategy is going to be out of Grubby, because he does have this Barbican play in his back pocket. He went for the Imperial Academy first, as expected. Can drop that Barbican later. Be a right nuisance for either Crackedy or Mugul. Wait. Crackedy! You sneaky git. I love it. He wrapped around. Grubby didn't notice. Grubby was not looking in the right location. In fact, this timing means he might not ever see it. He could go around the back for the sheep, right? Yeah, he'll see the villager now. He should know what's up there. No way. No way. No way he doesn't see it. Oh, my lord. And instead, Grubby is mirroring the move. He's building a dock of his own in the corner. They're both doing it. The sneaky stakes are at work. Szalami has scouted out, so he knows about this corner. He knows what's going on because he was trying to go for a lake himself. And a dock being built up here. Grubby with a double dock play. For good reason, there's value here. He's up against 2 docks worth of fishing here. Both players are in this lake. He can make this the game-winning play. And he can win it very quick if this plays out right. Mugul already going greedy, moving to the northern dock as well. Court expanding. Crackedy is noticed in this corner now. Grubby with no easy way of accessing will instead just go for the outpost. The outpost is going to be heavily delayed. Crackedy unleashes the first beast, and that beast will be able to slay the builder force. 2 villagers instantly going down. No way you can react to that with the 60 damage that a galley does. And by golly, this galley is going to do a lot of work. So many fishing boats. Grubby in trouble. Needs to get defensive ships out. Also needs to get aggressive ones going. First one's going to come out, but Crackedy is on point ahead of him on both fronts. This is why this man went for the English. Think about what you get here. Both of these Civ choices are potent in the field age because they have galleys. However, right now, they're not reacting, and Crackedy. Okay, he's going to pull back now. His galley needs to be assaulting these junks, though. Meanwhile, he goes deeper and deeper, pursuing here. Szalami tries to dodge him out. Doesn't want to fight him. Doesn't want to be forced to convert from fishing boats across to archer ships. Galley's going to start to target down these junks. Fishing fleet is going to be a little bit exposed in the meantime. But the good news for Team 2 is that Mugul is unharassed. He's free to kind of boom up. His fishing is somewhat unbridled. The English fishing fleet is definitely suffering. There's so many junks here. It's hard for them to have an answer. Remember, these galleys take 40 seconds. Junks, meanwhile, only 29, courtesy of the build speed of the Chinese. You'll clean them up, but you need to do just as much damage in the other lakes, and it looks like you might be able to do damage in these ponds. We're seeing the attack ships now starting to come out from Szalami with the double dock placement. Galleys, in the meantime, still running rampant through Grubby's eco lines, just targeting out all the fishing boats. But Grubby, right now, is the one getting more aggressive impact out of this play. Galleys, like, you can see how effective they are. These units are ridiculous. And remember, they're cheaper for the English as well. That's one big change they had. They reduced the cost. Very valuable play for them. And now with the double HRE galley, they're able to clean up the last of the junks. Taking down the docks might be a bit more difficult, mind you. In the meantime, their own fleet is continuing the harassment. 3 galleys out in the home lake of Szalami and Grubby. Szalami looking to pepper a galley down. Might just about get it. Weaves out of range, though. Final flurry of arrows, still not enough. 1 HP remaining. Now the heals start to come through, and he's pinched. He's gone in too deep. And wow, they didn't even finish it, Crackedy! Oh, that feels bad. That feels really bad. Now, at least the ships are cheap for Szalami, but he feels shortchanged on this one. Another one goes down, and this is where the aggression can start to stack up. The healing going on there. You can see a single junk coming in to try and at least snipe this one out, but it isn't going to be for free. Not with the repairs coming out, not with a second ship coming out the dock. Crackedy might actually block them off the home lake entirely. This is too much. Attack ships looking to engage, but remember, you no longer fire on the go. So if you're stuck in stationary combat, the galley is going to reign supreme here. You see the target fire coming in, forcing him to peel back. It's just, it doesn't feel good. I feel like the amount they have to invest in the home lake is going to end poorly for them. This is just an incredible play. Like, I'm just... Round of applause, I'm so impressed. I questioned whether he wanted the English, why he wanted the English. With the cheaper galleys and the fact that you have the additional range, you've got the best tier 2 unit outside of the Hulk, it all makes so much sense here. You're seeing the potency that they play with. It's just getting so much value. And you can see that extra tower range as well. 6 compared to the 5 means that you always have the edge. And it means whenever you try to peel away ships of Szalami, you're not getting them out. They're just going to sink. And the optimization here, just healing up on the back line. He's going to have wave after wave coming in, forcing them to reinvest time and time again. The only players to go into land now. You can see they're trying to react with Horsemen, but Horsemen alone will not cut it up against the shortbow villages. Castle Age at least reach for Grubby. Grubby, redeeming quality, could be getting into the war junks here. War junks that can at least deal with the galleys. However, you get enough galleys, they'll be able to pepper down those junks. And still, the damage has been done to your fleet. More fishing boats quickly flop and dead. In fact, if he dives deeper and looks for Szalami's lines, it's going to be problematic here. Now, keep in mind that Crackedy has sacrificed all scalability. He went all in on the galleys, which means that he has no food income to really speak of. Just enough to afford more villages. So you have to then question, has this done enough? Has this shut down the fishing economy for long enough? Galleys now going to start being sniped out. They need to weave away from this. The best thing they can do is dodge out the war junk. Remember that war junk is incredibly slow. With Tomb coming out, the galleys are now no match for this. Now one of those attack ships going down. Fishing boats should be discovered. Szalami quick to weave away though. Heavy flurry of arrows, not enough to instantly cut them down. Really wants to take them out though. He needs to shut Szalami down. And he's willing to sacrifice the guys to do exactly that. Weaves in, trying to stick in range, but the double war jump proving too fatal to the galleys. At least he's causing the idle eco though. Meanwhile, north side, Legrand Mugul is the only one benefiting both here and in the west. Meanwhile, south side, Crackedy now extending over in this area, but Grubby is quick to join him. They don't realize they share a lake just yet. Things will slow down for the moment. Fishing fleet back online. Crackedy. Oh, it looks like these hulks, or these war junks rather, are going to be able to finish off the galleys. The galley could at least wrap around and snipe more fishing boats. In fact, I think that is the golden intent here. This is where we might see a switch up on the land. You can see Crackedy fully insulating himself now with the farmlands. Doesn't want to be lord and saviored by these corner lakes. Doesn't want to have to rely on them to stay in the game anymore. He realizes that they can be just as poisonous as they are beneficial. Nice snipe down. The reason this works, blacksmith play. Actually, incredible choice here by Crackedy. Blacksmiths is heavily underutilized by both the HRE and the English, despite the power it has at the galley. Remember that you shoot 6 shots, so just upgrading your damage by 1 adds 6 damage in. The reason this is important is it means that you can kill fishing boats in 2 bursts of attacks instead of requiring a third. Now, of course, that doesn't work out for the lodges that are a bit more tanky, but definitely for the Chinese fishing boats, easy peas. Well, along north side, good luck with that. Mugul was hopeful that he will not get what he wishes for. Szalami, the quick switch up into the Knights, now rolling in. Knights that are still only few delays, so needs to be a little bit careful, a little bit respectful of the HRE is up against. Szalami still not able to tech up. He took a hit on the food lines, on the back line there. You can actually see the impact of it as well. He's investing everything into Knights, and this is a dangerous play by him because behind this, look what's happening out of Crackedy. He's making his way up with the King's Pass, recovering on land. And this delay to the economy for Szalami has set him back substantially in conjunction with his heavy premium units that he built and the military force on the naval front that was so easily cleaned up by the galleys. Meanwhile, peaceful fishing continues on the south side. If Grubby only knew, he'd look to snipe Crackedy out, but instead Crackedy gets to exist rent-free in Grubby's lakes. Warjunk will at least put an end to any new dock units coming out. Unlikely that you want to be going to the Hulk now as the English. As tempting as it might be, of course, being cheaper. The Warjunks being a nuisance. This might be worth 1 Hulk just to get rid of the docks in the corner. And you can see the effect of this, though. The Warjunks don't feel great against this. When you get enough galleys out, they really can flop them down fast. With more Warjunks coming out, this is becoming a little bit of a nuisance, something that needs to be resolved soon. Crackedy is closest on land to do so. Of course, Mugul not too pressured when he has a free lake on the north side. Free lake that Szalami isn't really contesting right now. Just kind of lacking the resources to do so. Grubby has switched onto land with a secondary TC. Remember, he did go for the Song Dynasty, so this is at 3 TCs effective. You can see the numbers, Crackedy, Mugul, similar in count, Szalami alongside it, Grubby having the economical lead for the moment. But now for the technological lead. It's time for Mugul to reach up. He's got the required food and gold. Palace of Swabi, it should be a go. One lodger attack ship, not really finding impact due to the galley. You can see Szalami feels a bit stretched. He's got plenty of wood, but doesn't really want to invest it into more naval aggression right now. Mugul, what's... Okay, have you really been distracted that long by 1 Lancer that you still haven't built a Palace of Swabi yet? This is taking a very long time. Did he forget he didn't click it? Oh, God. I'm starting to think he forgot he didn't click it. Okay, it's finally underway. And you will have condensed. If there has ever been a game that said, like, if there's ever been a base layout that said, please build fire lancers, it's this one right now. What is this layout? He can't kill me with fire lancers if all I have to do is position my spearmen in one location. There we go. We figured it out. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't know where this monk is going. This monk has way too high of ambitions. Okay, I think he's going for this one on the southern front. Szalami, after all this time, only just teched up. 2 Hulks versus the War Junks in the meantime. Needs to respect the spring placement from the outpost, though. Dancing on water right now. Be a win out for Crackedy. He needs to try and sneak in range, just on the edge, just out of range of the spring so he can just bring down this dock quickly. He wants this lake all to himself. Meanwhile, it was a high trade house, understandably for Szalami because he was so late to tech up. Didn't see the value in going for the Regnants with only 1 relic really left on the map. Makes perfect sense. I think actually Mugul only got 2 relics, so the spread overall in the end, yeah, free to Crackedy. The best, dude, okay, Crackedy, bro, come on. Dog, you can't do an HRE player like that. Are you really not going to give him over to the HRE player? Come on. Oh, that's so rude. Like, bruh, he's an HRE player. Be reasonable. I'm just going to hover this. Oh, dude, so this gets caught in the replay. Crackedy. What civ is your teammate playing? Wouldn't it be nice if he could have those Okay, no, okay. Wallow, Grubby. Woo. Nice, he grabs a bunch. Chinese just learned how to use bows. Pew pew, big boy. Crackedy, I love this element. Especially as the English, just getting your hands on the short bows now. Says, fight me, bro. Why won't you just fight me? Damn, good save there. Grubby didn't lose all the villagers, but still loses 6 of them. 6 is enough to snipe down a lot of your Villy boys. Especially considering that these villagers do 7 damage with a secondary upgrade from the blacksmiths. Okay, a little bit too close to the spring placement there. And Grubby's still not reacting either. That's a problem. He's going aggressive, though, walling himself in, trying to get into the base of CrackedyHere as the Knights do raid in from Szalami. Looks like Crackedy could do with some assistance. Caught in the middle of the age up. Perfect time here. Mugul needs to pounce. He needs to make a move on the north front to draw attention away. 2 players versus 1 does not end well for CrackedyHere. However, considering the amount of eco damage he's doing on the backside, I think he might be doing okay here. How many villages? How many villages? He killed the Imperial Official. There was like, what, 20 villages here? Maybe 18, something like that. So he's going to kill, like, an Imperial Official and 12 villages with 6 converted villages. Honestly, Crackedy, do what you want, bro. Take the stone and build a keep. You earned it right now, all right? Everything on the business card, I don't know, you've earned it. Grubby makes his way up now. He did actually go for the Great Wall Gatehouse. Interesting choice. This is very different these days. Remember, they changed it. It used to give a damage buff around to units on the wall. But as you can see now, it comes with nested beam placements. And then all units on the wall. Wait, I think it's all walls, right? Yes, on walls. Gets 25% increased range damage. Pretty powerful. And Szalami, hello. We're going different here. It's Spasskaya Tower time. Spasskaya, another thing that got changed. Remember now, Spasskaya allows you to build stone walls. Something that the Roost previously could not do, he's going to have access to. Horse archers in the midfield. Szalami with the switch up. Playing under the boar as well, mainly just for the bounty. Things will slow down for the moment, but not for long. Grubby now moving in with the keep drop. Looking to play around these sacred sites. Sacred sites that aren't that easy to maintain control over, but they're trying to do so with the Spasskaya in the north, the keep in the south. Not to mention the nearby Great Wall Gatehouse that will allow them somewhat easy access to the central sacred site. Why is Mugul... Hold on, why is Mugul down here in the wood? I'm kind of losing it here, guys. Mugul's all over the place in this one, I'm not gonna lie. So some people are wondering how all of a sudden the Chinese villagers know how to use bows. It's quite simple. The monk goes there and imparts knowledge upon them. He says, you were clearly born with a stick up your ass. If you remove that stick and then take a long piece of string, you can fire a bow. And the villager's like, oh, okay, nice. Szalami raiding through all these static defenses that might get a little bit cheeky soon. Actually, no, Mugul did not go for the cannons. Only for the sprints. So not the biggest of deterrents here. Lacking in the tech department. Yeah, I was about to say, like, Mugul, I feel like he played this game very slow in multiple ways, actually. It's kind of crazy when you look at it. Like, he doesn't have any tech research. As an HRE player, already in Imperial Age for several minutes. It's a bit of a tough one. I feel like a lot of this has been carried by Crackedy in the early mid-game, which you kind of expect with the way that they formatted. But at the same time, like, you know, the HRE should boom up quick. They should unlock Imperial Age, and they should come online. I still haven't seen that out of Mugul yet. Instead, it's just the Crackedy show. He starts to march in. No boiling oil research just yet. Bombard begins to target on the keep. A dive in from the hand cannoneers and the spears. Should start to torch this down. Should be a freebie if he does. Nesterby's trying to react. An instant pivot across towards them, but he just needs to get rid of this keep. He needs to see some raids coming out from his ally. Mugul still just chilling, vibing this entire time. Should be ready to go soon, though. Looks like the villagers had enough. They want that bombard for dinner. Problem is, with just a few hand cannoneers, that is not going to be feasible at all. Also, keep in mind that Crackedy still has these villagers on the backside. He's building onto the gold vein to extract. He also built a stable, so he's going to be backstabbing with knights into Grubby's base. This is actually proving pretty damn effective. He came for the relic, but he stayed for the butchering. Szalami in. Mugul trying to react to this, moving in with a spearman and Lang's neck as well. Trebs are going to be targeted down by the knights. And quickly dispatches the horse archers. A decent trade in the end, actually. Mugul coming in clutch, as is needed. Still a few knights left alive to be a nuisance. Spasskaya Tower makes it very hard for Mugul to breach to the north side without any siege at all. So the last of the cavalry of Szalami's is at least going to be cleaned up. However, second wave should be on the way soon. All attention is still drawn towards Crackedy here. There's a 2nd Battalion of Knights wrap around on the south side, and Crackedy desperately trying to get the stone together for a keep. What? Oh no! Szalami, he didn't attack click. He missed an opportunity to slaughter the villagers there. They'll be able to back away. And the stone gathered is enough. Crackedy can get the defensive keep up. Nice garrison inside, saves most of the villagers, but the Knights will commit to this. Meanwhile, on the eastern front, Mugul does stand watch. They need to insulate themselves somewhat. So far, Mugul has been unpressured for a while here. The radiant from Szalami didn't really go deep enough to do any serious damage. You can see they just don't have any water control anymore. And the Bao Chads are here to cause the pain. Bao Chuans, the true kings of the sea, of course. This is problematic now, because a lot of Eureka has been built along the shorelines. This is where Grubby is going to be unleashed. Meanwhile, Central Forest contest underway. Outpost here from Crackedy will give the buffer over, but the number advantage is clearly in favor of Szalami. Keep being rushed up. Szalami looking to rush through and deny that. Ignores the hand cannoneers at his own downside, but the Strelts can clean house. Knights will go after the villagers, looking to butcher them down. It looks like several will fall, but the keep will still go up. However, Crackedy far from out the woods yet. As the siege starts to stockpile up on the east side, trebuchets and Nesterby's in play. The keep now going up on that sacred site. Mugul still lacking that wallop, that punch they need. Never able to react in multiple locations at once. The static force of Man-at-Arms and Langsneck is too slow to respond time and time again. It's just a keep race across the map now. Everyone just trying to carve up territory. You can see what the goal is. Szalami and Grubby, they're playing around these sacred sites. They want to go for that tick-down victory. I mean, the amount of static defenses and the way that they're strong-arm in these fights, it's all too feasible. Also, cool thing to think about here. Something that I was worried about that I said was going to be broken. Rus have Spaskaya. They can now build stone walls. You have Streltsy that have 4 tile range. Build those walls, get them up to 6, and watch them massacre armies in front of them, especially when they are defensively postured next to these sacred sites. Let's Smees continue to move in, even more infrastructure going down. One thing I'd be curious to see is whether this beautiful Great Wall Gatehouse would increase the damage of allies' units on walls. I haven't seen that yet, but I'd imagine it works. So many potential plays, but they don't care about that right now. Instead, they just want to raid as deep as possible. Villager line panicking, trying to get away. Every time they clean up one wave from Szalami, another one comes in. Mugul is just guarding the rural district here. He's like, don't worry, you go clean the rabble up. We'll make sure none of the rioters get through here. Standing into quite the riot underneath the keeps. This is just not good enough, though, from Mugul. He's not really doing any serious damage. Sacred sites now open for the taking for Szalami and Grubby. Just need to get a religious figure out here and on the southern one. He already has one from Szalami. However, the Hulks need to be addressed. Hand Cannoneers thinking about getting close enough to tap. But a little bit too scared. The Bombard will scare away the Hulks of Crackedy. Not enough range on them. 7 tower range compared to the 10. Means that you go sinking quickly to the bottom of the sea. And let's check in on that back base. It's far. Okay, GG. It comes to an end. This little wraparound from Crackedy's proxy base that done so well has finally been torched down. No flank attacks anymore. All attention on the front line. A front line that Mugul hasn't really been able to breach to the north side. All attention has always been drawn to the south. And you can't help but feel slowly but surely Crackedy's base is getting chipped away out here. Struggling to keep himself afloat. Trebuchet is at least starting to come out, but a few bombards could make short work of all the defenses that Mugul and Crackedy have put together here. And it feels like although they're delaying the game, they're not really unlocking a win condition so far. They're hard locked into whatever this strategy is. I guess existing as a strategy? That's more or less the one they're playing for right now. They need more than that. They need a way through. The problem is they cannot even utilize the lakes for a flank attack because those lakes are well and truly under the dominion of Grubby. Yeah, you got this southern one for the moment, but not for long. It's Bow Chad time. Pew pew time. Woohoo! Do not disrespect the Bao Chuan. That's loss of a lake. That's loss of all lakes at this rate. All Grubby has to do is move the northern one. Mugul's still alive on the lake, but Crackedy's struggling. He's running out of wiggle room here. Farmland Eco at the backside is still at least alive, but for how long at this rate? Grubby even making sure he takes out every single fishing boat on the way through, not even rushing towards that dock. Crackedy unable to defend himself there any longer. Szalami in the meantime solidifying control around the center here. A sacred site capping starting to occur on the south side. Still needs to get the center one. Still could easily get it. There's no defenses that can actually reach you if you start capturing here. They're having too much fun. They're playing with their food. After the sadness that Grubby tasted in game number 2, he's in no rush to force the GG out of them here. So I'm going to just say that this one is very quickly coming to a close unless Crackedy can break out of his base in the next 2 minutes. I think the resource bank that is being hoarded by Grubby is going to allow him to just trade armies very effectively. You need to make a move soon, and that is not the move to make. Nesta Bees and Bombards just sniping out a few trebs for free. See the hesitation for Crackedy. Crackedy still feeling like he's on his lonesome defending here. Mugul needs to make a move elsewhere. Trebuchets with a choice here to stay long out of range of the static defenses of Szalami. That means that you are much slower on the breach. The Bouchuards starting to just snipe out any infrastructure near the coast here. And now that Sacred Site cap's going to come out. That's what we've been waiting for. This is going to force the matter. Force them to play in these static defenses. Force them to play into consolidated control around the center for Szalami. And naval control on the south side for Grubby. This is where they will very much suffer and struggle to overwhelm. E-repairs at least making Mugul stay alive for the moment. But not for long as the bombards begin to blitz through this. Keep repairs coming out from Szalami, but the bombards are too strong. E-repairs can't change it. It's brought down. All sacred sites now under the influence of Szalami and Grubby. Crackedy moves forward. Timer has started. The tick down begins. And the flood through from Szalami. Instantly, the moment the keep went down, he moved in with the Streltsy. Streltsy unanswered right now. Can start to butcher through the man-at-arms. Gap close comes in, but you can see the starter step back, spreading out into line formation to ensure minimum damage comes his way. Langsneck in the mix could really add up the damage on Szalami. Szalami with the suboptimal micro will be overwhelmed. Heavy hit on both sides. At the end of the day, the Streltsy dying so quickly is a problem, and Mugul gets an opportunity. However, that opportunity is hard to pounce upon when you're rolling trebuchets instead of bombards. Sacred Site tick down will continue. Szalami's gold. A little bit lackluster, but that's because he's quickly Giga Chad levels are replacing everything lost. Stacks up a bunch of knights as well as the Streltsy. Has got chemistry coming through soon as well. Make even quicker and cleaner work of that front line of Muguls. Mugul, who doesn't have ranged units, doesn't have any Mangonels to defend. It's just all in and hope for the best. Decap attempt is going to be a fail. Grubby there to meet him. Baiting him into the fight, forcing him to engage here. The hand cannoneers with the superior range do have the edge over Crackedy, but Crackedy now with that attack speed buffer. See the starter step come back from Grubby. Bombards are arriving. Should be able to snipe down the remaining troops. Crackedy doesn't have enough troops to continue to decap here. Should get cleaned up pretty fast with the remaining bombards in position. Has to back away. Southern Sacred Site, not feasible to decap. Their only hopes is either the northern or the central one. And this is something that Szalami and Grubby should be all too aware of. While that's happening, boom ships come through. Nice move, the swoop in. Szalami blocks out the eco. One dock alive though. However, all the fishing boats are gone. They've been pushed off the lakes. It is 4 lakes under the control of Grubby and Szalami. It's called 4 lakes for a reason. If you control 4 lakes, you control the world. And right now, that's exactly what they have in their hands. On land and at sea. Crackedy. Next maneuver could be your last, so make it a good one, son. Culverin's rolling on in on the way. Springle's here to address them. The shut triggers. I mean, they're able to match the range. GG just gets schooled. They know it's over. There's no way they can breach in. The military force is too strong. It's going to be an extra point on the board as Grubby and Szalami go up 2-1. Score is 2-1. This could still go the distance very much as we hop into our 4th map. We take to Basin, the creation of Avali, a gem for sure. Check out Basin. Here we go. Now, for those unfamiliar with Basin, the way Basin works is that it creates a stealth forest around the central area, and then the center is very open. This generation seems to be a little bit different, actually. Not gonna lie. Usually in 1v1s, you get more of a longer stealth forest spawn, and it's a bit more contracted towards the center, with the starting points being further out. But it seems that when you put it up to 4, it creates some very... Wow. Okay, that's the Mongols. Don't worry about that. It creates some varying degrees of generation where you end up kind of spawning more forward of the stealth forest, I want to say. At least that's definitely the case with Szalami. Actually, what am I talking about? These are both the Mongol players. Okay, no, it makes sense. So just pay attention to these 2 spawns. This is how it should normally function, where you're slightly behind where the stealth forest is, and these stealth forests wrap around towards your opponent's location. I actually love this design. It's a really fun design. I think it takes cool elements of high view and evolves it to be something a bit more dynamic, a bit more open. Very big fan of this. So let's see what we've got in mind. I did like the double Mongol pick simply because on this type of map, the stealth forest become a key element, and well, Mongols are one of the civs that use stealth forest really well. For the ability to like control vision as well as move quicker towards your opponent's base, it's very valuable. And I love the fact that we've got this kind of potential tempo aggressor in the Mongols on both sides, and then we've got this more kind of maybe greedy civ in the early game, depending on how they want to build, with the HRE and Delhi. Where this gets cool though is, realistically, with the HRE Mongol team layer, you're going to probably expect the HRE to be greedy, the Mongol to maybe play a little bit slower to control the midfield if need be. On the other side, though, the Delhi want to control the midfield, so you might actually find it being the case that Crackedy, as the Mongol, is the one trying to just boom up as quickly as possible. Speaking of those mid-map control points, you can see 3 sacred sites set up. That's definitely going to be a target for Grand Mugul. Probably looking to prioritize upon 2. And should be somewhat feasible when you're up against the HRE. Not really a civ that usually comes out and contests you on sacred sites early on. Too busy being fixated upon their own tech-up timings. I wonder, could this be a Tower of Victory? Nah, it's because we... Okay, so here's the problem. We saw a Tower of Victory at the start of the day. And ever since in my brain, it's like, could this be a Tower of Victory game? Could this one be a Tower... This one could be a Tower of Victory... And it's never a Tower of Victory game. It's never, ever, 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 ever a Tower of Victory game. Let's check out the Mongol spawns, though. Looks like I'd say Szalami got a slightly better one. I like he's got a little bit tight. I think like he's got a little bit of a tighter spawn, which allow him to go into early pastures. Meanwhile, Crackedy's, I think it's actually a similar distance. It's just the angles don't make it look so. And he did get a good gold spawn as well. Like overall, this feels very balanced between the 2 Mongol players. Nobody got screwed over, which is what I want to see. I think Mongols are the #1 civ for getting screwed by map spawns. Like when there's a mirroring that occurs, if one gets a good spawn, the other doesn't, you really feel the impact of it 10 to 15 minutes into the game. Such a big lead that starts to escalate. Interesting of Szalami going to the go this early. Wonder if he's going to prioritize wheelbarrow. I feel like I watch a lot of Mongol players skip wheelbarrow. And right now, with this kind of generation, like you know, when you're right up against the woodline like this and you've got your gold next to you as well, you don't need to get a go unless you want wheelbarrow. Grubby. Oh, look at this from Crackedy. Crackedy trying to be a cheeky bugger with the outpost going up. Crackedy is going to have to back up, though. Scout's giving pursuit here. Noticing some questions around why we aren't using the improved Observer UI. Because it caused some fatal errors with the Scar error in the first game. And also, the timer randomly disappeared. Like, completely disappeared. So, it's a bit buggy. Also, the placement of this thing at the top is a bit weird. I don't really feel like they needed to put it down here at all. Especially considering the placement isn't optimized for like if you want to have a wider spread as opposed to the compact one. Hopefully they can at least sort out that Scar issue and then we can look at it again. But realistically, like when I thought about the improved UI, the main info you got different was like you could see the garrison relics and relics gathered. And then I believe like the other thing would have been like all the sides idle units. That's kind of it. I'd say even like the income, like the amount of villagers working each resource wasn't exactly very clear because it's very tight on the UI. Definitely like someone that could have some potential with a little bit of improvement. It's just I hope that Relic gives a way for that type of UI overlay to be hooked in without requiring the custom game to run it as well. Anyway, let's focus on the game because it looks like we've got something fun occurring here. You saw it correctly. It's going to be Silver Tree versus Deerstone. What up? I mean, I'm pretty intrigued by this. Crackedy, he does have a hidden trade route, unlikely to be scouted anytime soon. And he has played a very retracted spawn. This could work out pretty well. We talked about this as a possibility, right? The fact that on one side you've got HR and the other side you've got Delhi doesn't mean that these two play the greedy eco boom. The Delhi players always want to play midfield aggression. They're willing to actually stunt themselves in feudal to drag that game longer. So it's actually advantageous for Crackedy to do this build to be the eco boomer for his team. I'm hyped. Let's see what he's got in store. It looks like Mugul is going to prep himself with the racks plus the stables to play midfield action. Really stable response out of Szalami so far. There's no defensive structures coming out from Grubby, but he's going hard and fast into the Burgrave Palace. An interesting choice on this map generation. Curious to know where the food is that supports this maneuver. In fact, where is the food that supports this maneuver? We're setting up farms now, but that's going to slow you down. Usually the idea behind the Burgrave play is that you have access to a deer stack as well to afford enough man-at-arms fast enough to overwhelm your opponent. The only way this makes sense to me is if he scouted out this silver tree, but he hasn't. He doesn't know about this at all. And he's playing against Delhi in the midfield. Delhi that will apply a lot of aggression early on. And although the Burgrave can somewhat match that, you want to exceed that. You want to overwhelm it. And having to set up the farms ahead of time could cause you to suffer with this build. Just have to see if it works out. Pro Scout. Okay, there it is. Now it makes sense. I like this. This is the teamwork that's been missing. This is actually the 4th game in, and we're only now seeing this layer of teamwork. The Pro Scouts play. I was expecting this to come out a lot sooner. It was definitely a very desirable strategy back in the 3v3 tournament. Szalami is going to provide the deer to sustain this push. And this push could overwhelm. But Grubby needs to move fast. He also needs to get the blacksmith. Without the marching drill, this is going to be slow. Outpost wraparound is going to be denied by Crackedy. He did get them up, but they won't last long against the man-at-arms now. Once you get up to 15, 20 man-at-arms, make your way towards the base of Crackedy. You could do some serious damage here. Could even think about targeting out the Delhi. Szalami also now doubling down on the scouts. He's going to bring so many carcasses over here. And look at the play in the center. Mugul sets up his own little fort. But you aren't up against the Zulu, my friend. It's not going to work out the way you think here. And you'll find these warriors trade much better one-on-one. Man-at-arms starting to stack up and move out. They'll be looking for Crackedy's base quick here. Didn't care about the outpost in the end. Instead, it looks like the communication was Szalami said, I'll deal with the outposts, you go looking for the base, and I'll catch up. And this is pretty crafty. You're going to have the unit that needs to dive, and then you're going to have the unit that adds in more torch damage. They could very quickly close out this game with this structuring, with this build between the two of them. And even more scouts coming as well. I absolutely adore this play. Grubby knows where his target is. He scouted the area. However, the silver tree is going to be hidden. The bad news, however, for Crackedy is his trade route goes right past his TC. It's going to get revealed. Oh, because he wanted to be optimal in distance. Want maximum returns here. But notice they don't even go after the Delhi player. The Delhi player who's being too greedy here. He's playing center and saying, come to me, fight me, over here, me. But right now, they're just like, me, me, me. We don't care about you. You don't exist in our minds. You don't exist in our games. Now Horseman coming out. Crackedy trying to get defense force together, but Horsemen are just not going to cut it up against man-at-arms. It's going to be a one-sided affair for sure. Especially with the follow-up wave. Mugul trying to come in with a flanking attack, but more man-at-arms following behind that. No Langsneck in the mix yet for Grubby. Would be a quick way of getting a dub over the Horseman, though. As he makes his way towards the primary base of Crackedy. A few man-at-arms proving a nuisance on this Uvu is going to force an engagement. Szalami has been cute so far, but he needs to add in something more than his cute little face and his cute little plays. Instead, Szalami is looking to save up and go to castle. Once he arrives, we should see Lancers. Lancers that will overwhelm these Horsemen. Man-at-arms count starting to escalate now to 10. Love what they're doing here. Szalami gets to have his greed now because Grubby is drawing all attention. Remember what they were doing before where he's kind of the butt. He's basically taking the pressure and Szalami gets to play his game. Grubby's doing a similar thing here again. And Szalami this time provided him the guns, the weaponry to cause the anarchy, the chaos required. His man-at-arms are going to do the business. The dog's bollocks, if I do say so myself. One Scholar not going to be enough to keep everything alive. You can see how Mugul is suffering here. Needs to get out of dodge. So many Horsemen dead. He needs to dodge the fight. Now with the two-handed upgrade as well, it's going to be even more one-sided. Clubs him down. Bye-bye, Scholar. And I did notice that. That's no Piety. Wow. Piety heavily delayed. Still 20 seconds away. These Scholars died too easily. Man-at-arms forcing more defensive outposts to go up from Crackedy. Not sure if he actually scouted out the trade yet, but if he ever discovers it, it's going to be a heavy hit for Crackedy at a time where he can't afford it. Remember, folks, this is just wave number 1. This is like when you bring your friend in who's never played Nazi zombies in Call of Duty before, and he dies in the first round. Like, bro, you haven't even figured out how to reload the pistol yet. You haven't even figured out you can buy guns yet. Crackedy wishes he could have guns in this one. You need something with that amount of penetration up against man-at-arms. Scout still guarding. There's the tech up we were waiting on. Szalami now reaching up with the step readout. You can see how pinned in Crackedy is. Him and Mugul stuck here up against the ropes. They dodged that 1-2 knockout punch, but Grubby ready for round 2. He heads straight towards Mugul's base. And Mugul is not defending at home. He's busy defending Crackedy. TC Garrison comes out. Stands his ground underneath that primary TC as he starts to torch into every building and wrap around looking for any eco because he catches Mugul with his hand in the cookie jar. In the middle of the tech up. Oh boy, will he notice though? Grubby's going deeper. He has to have a whiffing of this, an inkling that something's going on, but he doesn't quite know yet. Misses an opportunity to shut them out of the game right now. Could still hit the eco though. He spots it. Struct will be complete. Man-at-arms looking to pummel down a few troops here. Still no blacksmiths, by the way. Finally comes out, but he actually went iron undermesh instead of marching drills first. A lot of idle eco from Mugul nonetheless. The man-at-arms will just start to torch down anything they can get their hands on. Szalami playing midfield will go for more of these deer. Says keep the boys coming, keep the military wheel turning. Cogs of war, no end for Grubby. Military count now up to 39. That is raw man-at-arms count. 1 or 2 prelates in there to dilute it a bit, but other than that, it's just 1,000,001 chunky boys in this game. Even torching down more buildings. Elephant coming out, repairs to try and make sure that Ellie does get out, but even if it does actually arrive, you're still going to lose the archer range. Instead, actually, go for the elephant. Feeling mighty confident here with their 2-handed weapons. Mugul finally coming back. Crackedy did go into the Cruelty. This should be the Magadai build, but instead he goes for the crossbows. Interesting choice here, considering Magadai would be more or less untouched. Would have the mobility to fully leverage the Cruelty and its buff that does, of course, last for several seconds. Looks like the head patterns will keep the elephant alive at least, but keep in mind that Grubby hasn't amassed his troops yet. That wave is now coming in. Meanwhile, more carcasses come back to base, and Grubby is still reaching up. Imperial Age within reach. 21 villages building it up, and all pressure on the west side of the map means that they go completely unnoticed doing this. And what an optimization. What a way they played this game. Szalami not only instantly, constantly providing the delivery of meat required, which is not something you usually say. Usually the Szalami is the meat, but somehow in this situation has found a way to deliver itself and stay alive still. But also on top of that, he inflates his own economy with the second TC. Brilliant play now. And it really was the saving grace. I had my doubts until this happened, until this deer came in. I was worried that Grubby had made a mistake. When he started building farms, I completely just face-bombed. But now they're comfortable. Swabia pretty aggressively located, but another TC behind it. He's now up at 5 TCs effective. This Kurotai positioning aggressively, but the crossbows aren't doing the same. They're moving back towards the base of Mugul. Finally an answer to what Grubby's been doing, but they might not have an answer to what Szalami's thinking about next. Oh no, oh no, oh no! Crackedy, what were you thinking with this Kurotai? There is no thinking, there is only doing. And you should not have done this. The scouts. So there goes your damage buff. There goes your big one up. Crossbow's panic reacting to try and keep it alive, but it's going to be too late. Even if you get here, he commits the scouts to kill this off. It's totally worthwhile doing. my kitty aunt. Horseman move in now, but who cares? Just fire the defense arrow when the crossbow's getting range. It's already on fire now. You already got paid. I love watching Szalami. Guys, pure entertainment. That's exactly what this is. Crackedy trying to see if he can use a horse and a Kurultai to create some new breed. Isn't going to work out, though. So much for that damage buff. Not today. Dude, oh my god. Szalami's bringing the relics as well. He's doing everything right now. He's doing everything possible and more to make Grubby a god in this game. He is merely a vassal to his lord. Szalami should change his name to Dobby. What a wonderful house elf he is. Grubby in this situation is not the boy who lived come to die. He's the boy who lived come to kill. Has slowed down for the moment because he got counted out. Instead, he's going to eco boom up. The trade still continues on. It is escalating every minute for Crackedy. But not at a pace you'd expect. Maybe you'd expect more than this. Only 16 traders so far. Crossbow's now starting to apply the pressure. We'll need a reaction soon. Szalami needs to start getting his own army going. The Szalami army is going to be made up of someone that can catapult a heavy wad onto its opponent. Mangonels are being built. The counter to the crossbows will enable Grubby to go back into the melee force, but instead, for now, he goes in the hand cannoneers. Man-at-arms also getting in for free, just trying to bait fire away from the premium units. Hand cannoneers have to back away. More infrastructure being built up in the meantime. Grubby going in for the Spirited placement. It's going to take time, though. Has to back away. This was way too greedy with the archery range placement. But Mango is on the way. This is where Crackedy is going to have to show a lot of respect. Or face death. Those are your two options right now. Mango, freebie of a shot. Best of dodge just coming out from Crackedy. At least minimizes half the damage that could have been affected there. These Mangonels are now unanswered. One or two Lancers coming in, trying to be a nuisance, but up against the man-at-arms shouldn't be good enough. One more strike, not able to get it. Maneuver arrow saving the day. As the Mango just about gets out of range, will be repaired up, and this Mango spam could smash. This Kurultai is not smashing anything right now. He has 2 villages. Oh, good lordy. And yes, you guys did identify correctly. The sheep have been coming in. I didn't want to like jinx it. I said he could send a lot. I was gonna say he could send a lot of sheep. I thought he might even think about building pastures in the basic Grubby. I can't. Szalami is doing everything possible to make Grubby the biggest, baddest mofo in the Basin. And I love it. I love every part of it. Oh, and now he says we're gonna take away the one toy you had. No central sacred site for you. Send one lad in for the decap. North side control is in place for Szalami, blocking out the sacred sites. Calm and composed out of Team 1 here. Traction Trebuchet is now in play. Szalami looks to bring the siege. Grubby will bring the backbone of the army. A healthy way to spread yourself. Question, will this Kurultai be repaired by the time the game is over? Stay tuned to find out more. Elephants do move in. Nice maneuver here. Pack up the pastures to back away. Szalami needs to react in his own base, and it looks like Grubby is quick on the way. Remember, his boys, they move fast here. 1.24 movement speed due to the marching drill. We had a gap close upon the elephants. Elephants, in the meantime, peppering down the villages. Szalami getting struck a little, but Mugul has suffered a lot more. They can shrug it off. Scholars going to be targeted down. Easy pickings here as they're caught out of position trying to heal the elephants. And Crackedy behind all this looking to tech up himself as all attention is drawn to the alternative Mongol base. However, now with these hand cannoneers moving in range with the Langstek and the man-at-arms chasing in as well, elephants just need to buy as much time as possible. With the hand cannoneers here, though, it doesn't feel that feasible. Gap close is good. Love this maneuver by Grubby. The good micro to get in front of them so they cannot move away. The body block's on point. My boy, Grubby, playing it to perfection, baby. 3 elephants gone just like that. Siege count, holy moly, cannoli. What am I looking at here? 4 mangoes, 4 trebs, 2 springalds. It says try to beat me, bro. I dare ya. That's exactly what Crackedy's going to have to do. He'll have to provide the siege in this kind of composition at this rate. Szalami. Well, what have we got next? Could he reach up, or will he reach in? Reach in to the pockets of Mugul and Crackedy, take their lunch money, and then wipe his ass with the $1 bills, because that's exactly what they're looking to do here. They took the sacred sites away, they took central control away, and now they're going to set up their own central base in Mugul's. Wolves going up, but going up slowly. Langsneck wrapping in, says, what the hell you think you're doing? You don't have a visa. You don't have authorization to be in this area. Get the hell out. This is our home now. The siege will make short work of the walls. Easy breach points coming in. Whoop. I will never get used to the trebuchet animations now. They look so stupid. Can we just agree that? That's not a trebuchet shot. That's someone else. Push in though, Grubby. Applying the pressure. Where the hell is Crackedy when you need him? This is about to turn into one of those in your hour of need monologues. The problem in this monologue is Crackedy, by the time he's done with the speech, in your hour of need, in your darkest times, when you need me, I will be there. But this speech is so long, by the time he's there, it might have already gone dark for Mugul. Oh dear, oh dear. Treb's in, Mango's in. Crackedy now here, but the Mango's unanswered. Elephants dancing around their own base, not able to do much. Moving it in with the trebuchets. Mangoes as well, everything to be crushed and smashed into oblivion here. Mango's not able to reach into the crossbows just yet. Attack speed arrow does come out to try and deal with the man-at-arms. The hand cannoneers chasing under the elephants. Hand cannoneers need to back up. It looks like Grubby is getting a little bit overzealous here. Needs to defend the siege. If he doesn't, they're going to throw the game. We'll back up for the moment. A little bit too frisky out of Grubby there. Needs to realize this is a 2v2, not a 1v2. You're not Optimus Prime here, and if you've watched that movie, you know how it works when he takes everyone on. It doesn't end well. Primary TC now on fire. And Grubby looking for a keep drop in the base of Mugul. We said he was going to make it his central command. That's exactly what he's looking to do now. TC's down. Lance is forced to fight. They're going to fight poorly, though. Not enough of them here to breach through the siege line. Szalami diving deeper, needs to be protected by the hand cannoneers. Hand cannoneers having a little bit of a coffee break here. Landmarks being targeted out. House alone in the north side. Dome of Faith next on the hit list. And the trebuchets making quick work of it. 6 now in the field. Grubby needs more troops here. He's switched to Spearman. He needs something and he needs it fast, whatever it's going to be. Keep drops now actually happening. As he starts to set up his defensive line in Mugul's defenses. Second landmark down. Third one next to him, and he'll find it. Says, oh, hello. I see you hiding up on the high ground. Well, seeing as you've been up there at the House of Learning for so long, what exactly have you learned in this game? Because it definitely doesn't look like you've learned how to win. Treb's targeting out the secondary TC. Everything is falling apart. Crackedy at least still alive, but Mugul is in deep trouble right now. 51 eco and falling. Man goes onto the House of Learning. Trebuchet damage adding up fast. Spearman front line coming in. Looking to force the fight. Reaction too slow. Villagers complete the keep. They force him back. Mistakes have been made. Mugul didn't care about home blades. Left it until last. You are identifying that correct, chat. Don't need home blades. How are you going to use it? Elephants don't have swords. Come on, guys. They don't have thumbs. How will they hold it? Let's be real here. Don't be silly. That's going to be House of Learning down. Now, you may notice that Mugul is still in the game. Remember that they changed it so that now when your landmarks are sniped, you are not gone straight away. However, you're pretty much gone in this game. He did at least get another TC up and a keep to defend it. But they're coming straight towards CrackedyHere's base next for good reason. Legrand Mugul might want to change his name to Legrind Mugul, as in grinded into dust here. It's never ending. All they're waiting for is a new front line from Grubby, and then they're good to go. They'll polish their wheels and they'll roll on out. They seem to be holding on for the moment, but for what? Where's the recovery point? You have to start question marking it. Small contingent of Grubby's troops baits the attention of everything. Crackedy. This is worrying, actually. You've gone full ranged. You never go full ranged. Going full ranged will leave you deranged. You're up against mangoes, baby. Mango smash here. Our favorite fruit, our favorite siege. They're about to squish you like you're a mango. Make no mistake, the moment Crackedy comes in range, he's going to get wiped. Because Mugul does not provide a dynamic front line that can engage. Now, Crackedy could try to snipe out quickly with the Springolds, has got the tower range advantage. But remember that Szalami reached up as well, so he should be building into anti-siege himself. And he should be able to match what Crackedy is doing here. Base wiped out, nothing left of it at this stage. It's time to move on to the next target. Grubby jumping the gun a little bit again, as Szalami is a bit slower off the mark. He says, yes, go play. Right now, Szalami feels like the responsible father. Grubby's the explorative kid, enjoying the realm. He's like, don't go too far into the forest, son. There are bears out there. Grubby's like, I don't give a damn. I'll take those bears on any day. I've got a bear trap. I'll slap him around the face with it. Boom! As he shaka-lakas his way in. Looking to snipe out some Springles if he can. Ooh, not quite. Not enough damage. Springles now starting to be spammed out by Szalami. The amount of siege workshops he's got here with the prayer tent as well, which is acting as an Uvu, means that he can very quickly get Springles out. That not only can snipe out the anti-siege, but look at the damage they do to the elephants. Too many shots incoming. Scholars not able to save the day. Crackedy now switching to Magadai. Magadai could be pretty damn effective here. Mainly at just kiting out and taking down the man-at-arms. I'm concerned about their damage here up against the siege, though. And they might be an easy target for the Mangoes. Mangoes are about to make you go smoosh. Woo! Good trade out. Springles make it worthwhile, but still costing you a decent amount of hand cannoneers. Second wave coming in, though, as Crackedy wraps around. Szalami, second wave of mangonels on the way, but mainly trebuchets here. Needs more mangoes and needs them fast. Langsneck trying to reach him. The cleave damage coming out, quickly eviscerating the Magadai and wrapping now onto the Scholars. Scholars will not last long. They're holding for the moment, but the trebuchets behind this are still gaining ground. The Springles, the mini snipers, their damage adds up quickly. You can see it. Cannon placement also a nuisance here. He repairs. Nice TC placement by Grubby to make sure he doesn't have to waste stone repairing on the front line. Instead, he can use that stone to build even more keeps. And I think he went for a cheeky blueprint play by the looks of it. Why, yes, he did. You magnificent glorious bugger. It's about to turn to a gory bugger here. Crackedy throwing away more hand cannoneers. Not necessarily the most ideal of choices. At least afford it for the meantime, but maybe not indefinitely. Look at how many troops he lost. Remember, you went for Magadai as well, so on top of the fact that you have to with the hand cannoneers, you're probably going to provide the bombards as well. The amount of gold demand that is upon him, even with his trade online, he can't easily keep up with this. Mugul's going to at least try to insulate that trade. He realizes if at any stage lose the trade, the game is already over. The siege is getting ridiculous. Szalami, 9 Springolds, 6 Mangonels, and 7 Trebuchets. Less Trebuchet and more Touche, sir. This is ridiculous. Up to 10? Okay. Okay, this is getting a bit overkill now. but they want to send a message. Frontline marches in, pulled back in the meantime by Mugul. A raid coming in, Magadi's trying to do the only thing that they can. Crackedy tries to go on the offensive, but the static defenses are doing too much damage here. These elite Magadi are not tanky enough for this expedition. Barely any of them are going to make it in. They'll snipe out a few of the villages, but it doesn't matter. They can just dive in deep. They can shut down your economies. Magadi backside, 13 remaining. Decent damage being done, chipping away at him. But remember that Grubby, he's playing as the HRE. He's got the Love Hotel, the Villager Printer, the Palace of Swabi that will allow him to reboom his eco so quickly. It feels like the damage is somewhat negligible out of Crackedy, especially compared to what's happening over here. Szalami did go for the improved rating, and look at the payday. Woohoo! What's that? Oh, you want farms? Well, I'm just gonna... It's a farm, so do you mind if I farm the farm? Thanks. Good lordy, lordy. Grubby now diving in deeper, looking for targets. Meanwhile, Szalami will just clean up everything on the way there. Once again, Child goes running in the woods. Responsible Papa tries to find some points of rallying, of relevance. They can find their way back out of that forest. And the unlimited siege. Beastie would take his stamp of approval. He would slap a mark on his forehead, and then he would headbutt the screen to mark his approval on this one. This is ridiculous. Siege Lami is online. 10 trebuchets, 10 springles, and 13 mangonels. Woo! And a proxy base to add from Grubby. He wants to be in the fight quicker. I honestly, boys, like, I'm not gonna lie, there's a point where you're just yelling, "Beat me, daddy." And I gotta say, Mugul and Crackedy, you're there. There's a point at which this can just start to tilt you instead. Staying in games this long is not healthy, trust me. Like, there are some players that do it well. Beastie's talked about how he can usually do it. Although I'm not sure I entirely believe if there's a 1% chance, because I've seen how tilted he gets about sheep not working. But, sorry, Beastie. But the point is that everyone has their breaking point. And Mugul and Crackedy, if you haven't reached that breaking point by now, I don't know when you do. You got some mental fortitude otherwise. I think Crackedy's still somewhat enjoying the game, but there's no way Mugul is anymore. I mean, Mugul doesn't have a game. Like, what does he have left? 18 villages. That must be fun. Hand cannoneers on hand cannoneers, wrap around with the man-at-arms as Siege is going to be brought down. Speaking of Siege, just on the way in, everything to fall. TC down. Silver Tree is at least hidden in the back corner. Kurotai buff is somewhat helping, but I feel like it's just not enough. Crackedy is 1v2ing, and that's going to be a little bit too much. GG gets called. These guys are pummeling themselves in the pooper at this point. This is just proving too much of a painful brawl. Show some respect for Siege Lami.